So for this case study, we have Andrew Bell in from Hampden Bank. Andrew, welcome.
Thank you.
Andrew, for those who don't know you and don't know Hampden Bank, could you just introduce yourself, tell us what you do and what Hampden does as an organisation, please?
Yes, so I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Hampden Co. So my responsibility is for the private bankers within the organisation and for the marketing team and product function principally. So Hampden Co is the UK's youngest private bank. We opened our doors in 2015, and I think we're a distinctive private bank in a number of ways, but perhaps principally because all we do is banking. So we're a full service bank. We offer deposits and lending and FX, and we've got digital capabilities, an app and desktop digital functionality. But we don't offer wealth management. We don't do any other sort of financial advice other than banking advice. And that means we can be really good. And this is our ambition as a newly established private bank, to be the best at providing high levels of banking capability and high levels of service to high net worth individuals in the UK.
Fantastic. And that's a really useful introduction. That gives us a great bit of perspective there, Andrew. So in terms of the training and development you were looking for as an organisation, what was it you were looking to achieve?
Well, I think the first thing to say is because we're a young organisation, we've got a range of very experienced bankers. And then, of course, we've got less experienced people who are very bright, very capable, but will have had less time doing the job, as it were. One of the objectives of the program, from my point of view, was to try to develop a common understanding across the team of how we did things and how we should do things. To use the program as an opportunity not only to learn from you and from new results, but also from each other. So by getting everybody together, it gave an opportunity for the experienced people to share their experience with the less experienced people, but also some of the younger talent within the organisation gave them a platform for saying, well, why don't we do things slightly differently? So that was one of the objectives, to bring people together. And then I think the other objective was, we're not a sales-led organisation, and we shouldn't be. What we want to do is to give clients the right services at the right time for them. So the other objectives were to give the bankers who were already good at relationships the tools to develop their networks even further, both at a private individual level and also at a professional firm level, working with solicitors and accountants and wealth managers. And then finally, I suppose, to allow them to get even better at relationship management.
We delivered this during the pandemic, and it was delivered online rather than face-to-face, but you have teams that are based in Edinburgh and London. So tell me a bit about that, how that worked for bringing the teams together in the virtual sense from two different geographic locations.
Well, I actually think it worked very well right from the start. We just hold meetings via Teams and Zoom, and I'm sure, that's familiar to everybody. Everybody had to start working in that way, and the transition was a lot easier than I think anybody, including us, would have predicted. What I thought was interesting is that it then also immediately started an informal range of communication between London and Edinburgh.
So when we think about that piece, and you talked about, upskilling and giving the team some new tools in terms of relationships and furthering that and focusing on great outcomes for your clients and sharing knowledge. Out of curiosity, Andrew, why was it in the end that you chose to go with new results? What led you to our door?
Well, what brought us to your door in the first place was a recommendation from one of our wealth management partners, who you worked with in the past, and clearly gave very positive feedback. I think our sense was that you understood the subtleties of what we were trying to achieve. So what I was talking about a minute ago around we're not looking for sales training. That's not the sort of organisation we are. We do think we could get better at business development. We do think we could get better at relationship development and networking skills. And it's getting the balance of all of those things right. I don't think that's easy. And I think you appeared to and transpired to understand, as I say, the subtleties of what we were trying to achieve.
In terms of that learning journey, we're at the point now where we've delivered a series of workshops and support and development and lunch and learns for the team. What sort of results, what sort of changes are you seeing with the team now, Andrew?
I would say that the one of the main things that has changed is that, as I said earlier, we were looking for a common understanding of how to do things within the private banking team across London and Edinburgh. And what you've been able to do is to give us a really good basic framework for how to do that. So things like the 12-week plans, we're now using those habitually right across the team. So everybody's thinking, short-term, medium-term, long-term, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage my portfolio of clients? How am I going to develop that portfolio? And that, as I say, is just a very useful framework that everybody's using. And I hear the bankers talking about those plans and how they've tweaked them and developed them as a result of talking to each other and as a result of using them out in the wild, as it were. So that's one thing. As you know, that there was a series of presentation training sessions which I think were very helpful in giving confidence. I got a lot of grumbling when I was talking to them about, I wanted to do some presentation sessions because everybody's a little bit, again, they don't think of themselves, the bankers, as good presenters necessarily. They're bankers first and foremost. But doing that training, the feedback afterwards was it was great, and people got a lot of confidence from being told how to do it and then practicing and being given feedback. And I think also in relation to the environment that we're just coming out of, just some fundamentals on how to put yourself across effectively over Teams or Zoom. I'm certainly seeing fewer people popping up on the screen, against a window, cloaked in darkness. Just some of those basics have really helped. And I think the final thing I'd say is it's the little nuggets. Some of the comments like, it's not who you know, but who knows you. I've had that played back to me from people within the team, and the trust equation, all those sorts of things. When you hear them, as I say, being played back to you, you know that people have absorbed it, and you know that people are interpreting it in a meaningful way for them. So no, lots of positive early signs, I would say. Brilliant
stuff. Well, Andrew, that's really great, because one of the things that we love to hear about is, especially we talk about frameworks, because we don't want to tell people what to say or how to approach things. So if you're experienced members of the team, they have a framework with which they can operate and use. And for the less experienced members of the team, having that framework and that support linked to that confidence can often help people take the steps that they need to take to improve and develop.
Good.
Excellent, Andrew. Well, thank you very much for that. Thank you for taking the time to record the case study. That's really, really appreciated.
Not at all. Thank you.